Hey guys, welcome back to Flying in Space with Planet Head. Um, Similar to the last video that I made, which I actually haven't posted yet, but will come out fairly soon. I'm going to try to do this one with a little bit less jabber at the beginning, and then maybe a little bit more gameplay. They'll go off and on. Some of them I'll jabber on, some will do a little bit of gameplay. Um, so if you want to check out the series, I will be dropping, I'll always try to say this at the beginning, um, I'll be dropping a playlist into the description that goes from episode 0 through this episode. It's a chronological kind of history of my returning to Eve and kind of starting off with total basics. Um, it's not made toward uh, tutorials. I think there's a lot better people out there that do tutorials, but it's kind of me going through the day-to-day gameplay to gameplay and remembering different things. And then if that helps other people remember some things or try some new things out, that's cool. So let's just jump in as quickly as possible. Um, so I do like to go down rabbit holes. So the last video that I did, if I remember correctly, it was all about buying that first blueprint and getting it up and running. I bought an Incursus blueprint BPO and then put it into research. It's been almost a day since then. I've got about an hour and a half, an hour left of researching that to a level 5, so that I can build my first, uh, or get ready to build my first ship. Now, obviously, you can't fly a ship without having it being equipped. Well, if I'm going to go full tilt basic on this, building a ship out the simplest way and only fly things that I built, then I need to start from the very uh, get-go, the basic type of ship that you can do. Um, the ultimate goal being that at least for quite a while, I only fly things that I build. So the next part of it is looking at the equipment that you want to have, and then also having the right materials to build that equipment. So what I ended up doing is I know I now, after watching that last video, I'm going to be flying in Cursus to do the level 1, possibly some level 2 missions. I need to fit that out. And so if you go into, and a lot of you already know this, but I'll talk about what I have and then my thoughts on it to stick to the plan. If you go into the fitting window, now this is your venture here, but if you go into the fitting window, it will show you, normally it'll pop up with, if you choose here, the community fittings, and you can choose some community fittings out there that are for some of the newer ships. You've got some really nice fittings that are out, or basic fittings. Um, you've got the Air Galente Soldier of Fortune, for the Atron, the Imicus is for exploring, and these are things that are very quick for a new player that they can go out and buy the equipment and go fly. There is an Incursus one out here. It is for the a basic Incursus. It's a nice little fit here for somebody to jump into. I'm not going to delve deep into it. I am just going to point out a few things before I show something right after that. It's got some rigs here. It's got some guns in your high slots. It's got your medium slots with um, your I always forget the word for this. Your afterburner, but there's a word for it. I'll come back. And then it's got some other items in here, as far as for your battery and things like that. And then it's got your damage control down below. Um, what I did was I looked at this and I said, how can I make this basic setup the single most basic setup that I can think of? And then build those parts to this, which would basically take away a lot of the make building it easy. Now, the ultimate goal with this is to start building the most basic things that don't cost hardly anything, so I can fly a buildable ship, and then from that point, see what works, see what I can upgrade move on from there. That can go as simple as going from, uh, just to show you here, you've got um, 150 millimeter guns on here. Um, to start off with 75 millimeter guns, your smallest guns that you can possibly have, and then increase those as you go along, but basically go with the weakest guns possible, build those briefly, learn what they're good with, and then look at your how flying with that and acts, and then look at how can I improve those things. Um, so what I ended up doing was creating my own fit and saving it over here under my own fittings. And you're going to kind of, anybody who's played this game before is going to laugh at this fit. And I'm going to show it to you. Basically, I removed out all the modules because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think an alpha can build um, the uh, shoot. What is this? Ah, jeez, my brain. I need some coffee. Mhm. We'll come back to. Uh, I know I gotta get the word now because I'm stupid. Sorry about this, but I need to say the word so it's in my head. It's the simplest word in the world, but it's going to be stuck in there unless I do something. Materials, don't need that. Ship equipment. Nope, that's not what I want. Ship skins, ship equipment. Let's make this larger. I gotta see. Wow. This is what happens when you don't plan these videos out. um, implants, not that. I'm gonna feel so stupid whenever I figure out the word that I'm trying to think of. Ship equipment. Module modification. Rigs. Oh my gosh. So, all that work just to figure out the word rigs. So, long story short, I'm removing off all the rigs here. Go with totally basic ship because if you don't know this, rigs give you a few bonuses, but they also give you negatives. It's kind of like, and those will be future that I build, but right now I don't want to focus on those. I want to focus with the raw equipment that's coming into the ship, and you'll see a little bit more of that. So did that. Then I found the most basic guns, hybrid guns that I could throw on it. Um, and then I found the most basic afterburner and basic armor repair damage. So you're going to see it here. Um, there we go. So we've got 75 millimeter Gatling rail guns. They might be the weakest guns in the game, but they are rail guns. So they actually do give you a little bit of damage distance. Um, so, and I took that, and when you're in my mind, okay, if you're going to do something, focus on that. So you'll see that in the future here. So I threw on a regular in the fit, just a regular afterburner um, that I can build. Again, you can pick up better afterburners by killing NPCs. You can buy better afterburners, but this is all about learning production and then maybe growing from there. Also came with I went down to a basic tracking computer. Why do I have a tracking computer? Because I want the long range guns to have a better chance of hitting things. Will this work well with those guns that I currently have? I don't know. I'm going to find that out by using it, but I'm going to build these um, and then use them. Down below, we went with the overdrive injection system, just a basic one. Your regular magnetic field stabilizer, that gives your hybrid weapons, I think, more damage. Regular damage control, which gives you a little bit of a boost for your um, defenses in all your areas. And then a regular small armor repairer. I kept using the word regular. There are a lot of Meta 2, Meta 3, Tech 2, uh, pirate faction things that you can throw on these that are the same items but better. But what I wanted to do is build a very basic ship. Now, the one spot that the old ship had that I left open, there was a battery in here. And the reason why the battery was on that fit, if I'm not mistaken, and we'll look at it here for the Incursus. I still have that here. Ba, 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 ba. It's a Calente Enforcer. There it is. This they had a battery on there. Could I have made a basic one of that? Yes, but I don't need it for the fit that I had. If I'm not mistaken, I think they put this battery on here because these rigs that are on here and the guns that are on here made a need for the battery to fit it on there. So the fit that I have doesn't need that to get these to work. So I now have an open slot in the fit that I may throw in a battery down the road as I upgrade the components. Um, or I could throw something else in there. I could throw in maybe another tracking computer or another item that I want to research. So that's where it makes it a little bit of fun. So we'll go back over the basic incursus. Last but not least, if I'm not mistaken, I threw in for ammunition here. Can I see what it says for ammunition? Oh no, I've got there it is, incursus. There we go. For ammunition, oh, I got to remove that out. I was only going to use the iron charges, not to delve deep into it, but the iron charge um, is a very weak ammo, but long range. Using that with the long range 75 millimeter guns, now, they're not really long range, but they're the weakest, longest range ones, and the tracking computer that will dictate how I'm going to try to do the missions that I'm doing. And when I'm fighting someone, I'm going to try to keep a distance with my afterburner, repair with my armor repairer, and I've got some speed with the injector system that can go with that. So I can try to keep distance and fire long range with my iron charges. If you look at an iron charge here, I think, let's just show an info here. Pretty weak, increased optimal range and reduced capacitor need. So, and then its attributes does only 2 thermal and 3 kinetic. So, but starting off with almost the most basic um, ammo that you can use, and then you can always upgrade from there. But my one mistake that I used to make all the time when I first played and then later on was just focusing on damage and not really understanding ranges and capacitor needs and things like that. So if I start with the most basic thing and work up from there, I'm forced to learn those things, and then I have a better understanding for whenever I'm using them, and then when they're being used against me, which could maybe be more helpful if I ever do get back into PvP, but would be very helpful if I'm doing PvE, I think. So, most basic system. So now I've got a basic fit. I need to build this ship or start working on getting the blueprints to build the ship. I already have um, the uh, blueprint for the hull. Now I need to buy blueprints or get blueprints for these pieces of equipment. Now the nice part is since these are incredibly basic, I'm gonna stop using that word, but um, modules, the blueprints, the blueprint originals should be fairly cheap as well, which is kind of nice. So just to give you an example, um, I'm going to go in here and I'm going to show the info on the guns. And then I'm going to see that there's a blueprint for a 75 millimeter Gatling railgun. Show that info. And it's going to tell me two things. Well, one thing here, it's going to show me that I need some titanium and some pyrite. So for that being said, now I need to know, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Show info. And then I'm going to find out where can I buy this blueprint from. So we're going to view the market details. It's only 20,000 ISK. I think I had 20,000 ISK in my pocket, um, but actually I might actually have some ISK from the FanFest last year. But here's a bad part. To get there, it's 9 jumps away. I'm still going to go grab it, but it's 9 jumps to go get that. So I'm going to fly my little venture over there at some point. Not on this video. Don't worry, I'm not going to waste your time with that. But I'm going to go get that. I need some titanium and some pyrite. So what I'll do is offline, not in video, so I won't waste your time. I'll probably go pick up all these different BPOs. They shouldn't be too expensive. I'll bring them over, and once the incursus is done being researched, I'll throw each one of those in one at a time to research them and keep them going. Um, to really use that time efficiently as an alpha, always keep something like you always want to keep something in your skill queue. If you're a manufacturer, you always want to have something being researched in my mind. So I will have a probably, what is it, about six different blueprints there that I got to grab, six or seven. So I'll have six sitting around that I can constantly just throw in and keep researching and going. And then when I become a mega down the road, I can buy the laboratories and have a bunch of them that I can then throw in for long term. I think you can have like up to 10, maybe 15 slots versus the one. And at that point, that's when I would go into long term doing the 56-day researches, that sort of thing. Enough said. Second part of the video. I think that's me just jabbering on, but I'm trying to be more focused on talking about Eve. Um, blah, blah, blah. The next part, and this is fairly simple, but it will be a little bit of action in the game. Um, one thing that I have to look for is I gotta have the correct materials to build this ship. Now, if you look at, obviously, I'm researching that what you call it, the Incursus blueprint. So I need to know if I have the materials to actually do it, and can I get those materials? Obviously, I can buy them, but if you're doing it the way I'm doing it, I want to actually mine those materials because the ultimate goal is to fly these ships, figure out what works. What works um, for me would probably work for other people, which would mean that if I build those things, I could also sell those things to make money, so I can go both ways. So come in here. We're going to look at the blueprint. We're going to look at the materials. We need titanium, pyrite, mexilon, isogen. Now, other things like your rigs, other components, your Tech 2s, those will have even more advanced minerals and components that they need. But it would be really dumb to actually research a blueprint, and I've done this before, um, and then not have the components to build that thing that you researched. It's a total waste of time. So I need to make sure that I have access to titanium, pyrite, mexilon, and isogen. So the system I'm in, which is a Lowsec system, Insect Liaison, Miss Nedon, um, I've been mining a little bit, and if I remember correctly, I've been mining some uh, plagiocase and some scordite. It also has, uh, oh shoot, the one that makes titanium. Doesn't matter. Um, Starts with a V. Feldspar in the system. So it has those three. Feldspar only makes one type of thing, and that's titanium. Scordite industry makes titanium and pyrite. So I think at times I will want to mine more Feldspar so I can get more titanium. But if I'm trying to get both titanium and pyrite, I could do mine scordite. Okay. The second one here is your plagiocase, and that one I get mexilon and titanium. So um, I, so with what I'm able to mine in this system, I get mexilon, isogen, and wait a second, mexilon, pyrite, and titanium. I'm still missing the isogen, and I cannot mine it from the regular belts that are here on the system. There's ways that you can get to it, but this through some different ways of doing it. But the best way to try to get to it is to go to Lowsec. Okay. So, and how do I know that? Well, we're going to go back in here. We're going to look at our blueprint, which is over here. There we go. And then we're going to show the info. And then we're going to come down here. Remember, I have titanium, pyrite, mexilon, but I need isogen. Where can I get isogen? We're going to show info on the isogen, and it's going to tell us um, It may be attained in the reprocessing for the following ores and their variations. Umber, kernite, hemorrhite, gneiss, and dark ochre can be found in low security space. Null security space has it in these items, and then wormholes, you can get it from here. I'm focused on low security because it's the easiest one for me to get in and out of. Um, so where is low security space in relation to where I'm at? So is this, so looking at Dotland and looking at the system I'm in, which is Misneden, which is right here. If you notice, 2 over is a very small Lowsec system called Bez Bescarin? I can't read that, it's really small. But it is a Lowsec system, which tells me that I should be able to get one of the minerals that I'm looking for there. We're going to go and I'm going to fly there and see if I can find it. I think we're looking for either umber or kernite. Now, going to Lowsec, got to be a little bit more careful. That's where people like to shoot people at. Looking at the system here, looks like 2 ships have been destroyed in the last 48 hours, so that doesn't worry me too much. But still, you always want to be careful. The other thing that I look at is how many belts does it have? It's got 14 belts. That's a good thing. So let's go see. We're going to just get out of here. We're going to see if there is any. Let's just see here. Oh, if you're also wondering, with the Cursus, it does fly 1 drone. So I'm probably going to buy a blueprint for a Hobgoblin for that Cursus as well, or something to that effect. I need to look at the different drone blueprint originals that I can get for that. So we're going to fly over to Poulin. It's 1 away from where we're going, so we're just going to jump over there. Now this is where it gets a little bit fun. Anytime you go from high sec to low sec, or low sec to null sec, it's always an issue. There's a chance that you may get killed on a gate or something along those lines. So that's kind of one of the fun parts of EV. Even if you're not trying to kill anybody else, I actually enjoy trying to stay away from getting killed. Now today, I'm not too worried about that. I'm flying a very low priced ship. But as you get better, or as you play more and you play more expensive ships, you want to be more and more careful. But today I'm not going to worry about it too much. The bonus of going in here, and I haven't seen whether or not this has Umber or Kernite. We're going to find out. What was it? It was Besparin? Is that where I'm going? Foves? Besgarin. Okay, so it was a G on Dotland. It was very small. Maybe I'm pronouncing that wrong, but we're going to jump. I'm just going to jump straight through. If somebody wants to blow me up on the other side, they can. But one big bonus to a system that has a lot of asteroid belts is when somebody, especially in low sec or null sec, it's a little bit harder for people to use directional scanning to find you. It's not real hard, but it is a little bit harder for them to pinpoint where you're at, which gives you maybe those couple other extra seconds to warp away. Okay, we're going to jump in here. We got open space. I don't think I don't have anybody here on gate. So I'm just going to warp to a random belt. I'm going to check it out and see if it's got the mining equipment that I want. Now in local, let's see if I've got local. You guys can't see it down below here. My ugly face is there. So local, I've got 3 people in system, 1 including me. I don't know where these other 2 are. Ooh, it looks like we've got some NPCs here. Now I'm going to get moving in an opposite direction because these NPCs are going to be stronger than the normal NPCs. There's a destroyer there, the high-sec NPC, so I don't really want to run into them. And I'm just going to do a quick look and see if, and there's some umber there. So that is what I'm looking for. Remember, I'm looking for isogen, pyrite, and isogen. Jaspit. It also has Jaspit here. So let's see what the Jaspit gives me. Mexilon and Noxium. Cool. And notice here, these guys are, even though I've got, okay, I have my um, afterburner on, these bad guys here are trying to close range. This guy's caught up about 23 kilometers. So let's get out of here. He's closing. That destroyer's closing. We do not want to mess with him. So we're just going to jump back over to Poolin. Um, so now I know that I can get isogen from here. Yeah, shoot at me all you want. I'm warping away. Bye-bye. Watch me die. That'll be funny. Um, there we go. So I now know that I just have to jump into Lowsec. Now, whether or not I use this area or another area, I'll be able to get isogen and noxium if I need that for some of the equipment that I'm building. So I now have access. Let's go ahead and jump on in. I now have access to 5 different minerals in the small area that I'm in. So that's going to be fairly helpful to me to build the very basic ships, regular ships. Maybe is that a different word? I have a tendency to use the same word over and over again. But that gets me up and running, and within a week, I will be starting to build ships that I can use, test them out, and then once I start building the equipment, I can then check the market out, see what sells and what doesn't. I can tell you, I can probably sell the damage controls. Um, Probably not for a great amount of profit, but once I, um, but everybody seems like, I would say at least 75% of the ships that are out there have some form of damage control on their ship. So if I can build those, then that's possibly a sellable item. But I have to look at the market. But until then, I'm still going to have something that I can build and use. So I'm not just building stuff to sell. I'm building stuff that I could use now and down the road. Now you might say, well, once you get into better ships, why would you still want to have those blueprint originals? Those blueprint originals, once they're um, researched up long term, they can then be used to research and make, I think, Tech 2 blueprints. Um, and you can also make some blueprint copies of those and sell the copies. So really a big bonus if you get started early. Can you do a lot of research as an alpha? No, but at least you can do some. And it gives you that little try to see if being a producer, an industrial person is worthwhile, or is it too tedious and you just want to buy the stuff online? Almost like, do I want to be the guy? Do I enjoy uh, changing the oil in my car, or do I want to um, pay somebody to do it while I eat a croissant and a cup of coffee in the store next door? That's what, different people have their different likes and dislikes. So I'm trying this out, see what happens. So that's pretty much it. Um, Spot on. All right. Hey, the last but not least, I'm kind of liking this on my days off. This is my weekend right now, doing or recording the videos. And then on my work days, I'll go back and look at each video that I've recorded and then do the final touches of putting a title page up and uploading it on my work days. And that way I'm not uh, doing videos or creating videos when I'm tired from work and I'm have a limited amount of time. Right now, and last night I was able to just do videos because I wanted to do. Now that not that I was forced to do them. So I may do like 2 or 3 or 4 videos, make them or record them on my days off, but then on my work days I'll just slowly put them out as I'm able to do the final touches on whatever it is there. So part of making these videos is documenting my gameplay from returning. The other part is getting back into how to make videos and learning on that side as well. So hopefully you'll see some upgrades to that over time. And I'm learning from my mistakes, I think, from previous videos. I do like to talk a lot, which I'm doing right now, but to try to get into the gameplay as quickly as possible. And then at the end, I can just blah, blah, blah like I am now. But other than that, hey, that's all I got for today or right now. Maybe I'll record another video tonight if it jumps across me. But other than that, hey, fly safe, fly dangerously, fly however like you want. And I will talk to you soon. Have a good one. Bye bye.